Oh God.
So dramatic. As you like
Yeah, you're
to
being
say.
very snappy at me today, so I would control the attitude. Ugh, I wish I had like more time. Because imagine if I hit 100 mil a year after hitting mil.
Was the 95 not enough for you?
Well, I was just like saying like even numbers.
Well, seeing how people reacted to this, like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Like, this is messed up stuff.
Not easy being the disappointment of the family, but here the I am. Gang, gang, bitch.
They expect you to drink this shit.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you are tuning in. My name is Jonathan Torres-Herrera, and you are watching or listening to the JTH show. Today, let's talk about TikTok, specifically Charli D'Amelio, a user by the name of DJ Merr, and prisoners on TikTok. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. But first, roll the intro. All right. As always, remember, you can listen to any of our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Radio Public. And if you already are listening on there, thank you very much. It really helps the show. What else also helps the show, if you're interested, is if you take 2 seconds to smash that like button on any of the platforms that you might be watching or listening to, if one exists, specifically here on YouTube. Really helps. Cannot tell you how much it helps. And if you don't mind, subscribing, that would also help if you're new and here for the first time. And if you are returning, hopefully you have that notification bell turned on. All right, let's jump into the story. And that is TikTok. Now, for those of you guys that have been here for a while, for those of you guys that are here watching for the first time, you might know that I am not the biggest fan of TikTok, or was the biggest fan. However, ironically, I do find a lot of my content on there. Why? Well, because of for the most part, the cesspool of just what that you continuously find on there, right? There are good videos, yes. There are some of them that are going to be educational, informative, great. But the vast majority of them are things that you want to close the application and then just wash your eyes out with like chlorine. It's crazy, some of the shit that you see on there, right? And one of the things that recently happened, which we'll start with, is Charli D'Amelio, which, if you don't know, she is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, I should say, creators on the platform, right? Since she started about a year ago, she quickly rose to 1 million followers, and recently she was on the chopping block, if you might say, of being canceled by many of her subscribers, because she did what you saw there at the beginning of the clip, where she is acting like a 16-year-old, right? Who has, risen to this level of influence that she doesn't know really what to do with it. And it's just numbers to her. Quite frankly, if anybody can actually picture 100 million faces, I would say it would be damn near impossible. I'm not justifying her behavior, right? You should see the whole video. It's actually on YouTube still, or last I checked. And it was around a little series that they have on their, I guess, D'Amelio family channel, where they're having, or at least the series, if it continues, it will be about them having like dinner with like, random guests, right? And, they think of themselves in some ways, which I see also why people got pissed off, so big that they're like, oh, I wonder who's going to be on the show. Is it going to be like, I don't know, like they mentioned David Chappelle and some other people that people are like, that were hearing them were like, what? I mean, yeah, sure. Charli, you have like 100 million subscribers and your sister has half of that or something, but come on, you guys want to get people that have been in the industry for decades? I don't think so. But they still got someone like James Charles, right? Who is a vlogger that, turned TikToker, who is very famous because of like his makeup and here and there some controversies, some drama with other creators. And, he kind of, I would say, curated in some fashion, indirectly. I don't think, literally, I don't think he meant to do it. The controversy, right, that she was in. And that is when he said, you don't think, the 90 something million that she already has was enough, when she's like, I really want to go to 100 million followers. It would be really cool if by the end of the year I can do that, right?
Wait, whoa.
In 1 year.
If we're thinking about it, okay, how far away is that's Friday? Okay. I wish I had like more time. Because imagine if I hit 100 mil a year after hitting a mil.
Was the 95 not enough for you?
Well, I was just like saying like even number.
Well,
she was kind of like upset and wishing she had more time, because she wanted to do from 1 million to 100 million the same year she got the first record. And again, Charles is kind of like, shit, like, you don't think that 96 million was enough? So yeah, some people took it like, yeah, listen to James, and how dare you, act immature, which again, I will remind people, she's 16 years old. And no, that does not exempt her from being criticized, which many people went after. She was even trending, I believe, last week, Trisha Paytas, where she, responded to some of the comments that, Charli was putting up and critiqued her, because everybody was talking about this last week.
Since they are role models on such a big platform, they should be called out when they need to be humbled a little, because you see this happen all the time. People get really famous, a lot of followers really quickly. They think they're entitled to 100 million. They complain that they only have 95 million followers. They complain that they have a personal chef, and it's just unbecoming.
Right? And then people went after Trisha, and she was trending because, really, you're 30 and you're going after a 16-year-old. Let me tell you something, for those of you guys that are saying that, just use your critical thinking. All right? The world is a shitty place. It is nasty. Is something that it just everybody knows that is mature, at least, right? The internet is part of that world. And when you put yourself out there, in the world, even if it's through the internet, understand that there is very hard for you to just filter whatever comments, critiques you feel that you may deserve or can take or can tolerate, whatever term you want to use, based on a rating that you want to put. And you can be like, it's based on age. That's not how it works. If you decide to put yourself out there, and for that matter, if your parents, like in this case, the D'Amelio parents, decide to allow their children to put themselves out there to the extent that they have, understand that the world is going to say some nasty shit back at you, including what recently she was on a different video crying about. Saying, literally, by the way, crying. I'm not making fun of her. She was literally crying.
Honestly, like seeing how people reacted to this, like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Like, this is messed up stuff that people are saying. Like, that's not okay. You can hate on me for whatever I've done, but the fact that all of this is happening because a misunderstanding, like, I just feel like that's not okay. And if this is the community that I'm in and the community that I put myself in, I don't know if I want to do that anymore.
Saying, people are saying I should kill myself. I should do this. Should people say that? Of course not. It is stupid when anyone says that at any point. Even to the most horrendous people. There's some people out there that have done some pretty nasty shit. I talked about it before, right? The Dawson guy. And the creator, I don't remember what I remember his last name is, or first name, James Charles, whatever, the Dawson dude, right? He was very, popular. He was getting views in the millions for his videos, and all of a sudden, he was canceled because of some nasty shit he said to a minor. Do I think people should reach out to him and be like, you should kill yourself? No, of course not. I think that is shitty of anybody to say that to someone else, right? It is not for you to pass that level of judgment. But does that exist in the internet? Does that exist in the world? Of course it does. People are nasty like that, right? And just like you can't filter it out in the real world, like if I were to go out right now, literally, out on the street and someone passes by in their truck or just walks by and says, F you, you fat ass. What am I gonna, shh, don't, excuse me, can you use PG language? Can you not, no, can you bleep it out? No. If my children out there, it is unfortunate, it is disgusting, I'm probably gonna get pissed off, but they're gonna hear it. You know, I can't run to their ears and do this every single time, right? That I feel someone's about to say something or said something that I don't like. Do I agree that they should do it? No. But is it going to happen? Yes. And it's the same thing for the internet. So when they were like telling Trisha, you should be ashamed and you should be this. Trisha is someone that likes to, you know, run around and look for clout, right? That's what she does. She likes to make controversy and make drama, whether it be because of her natural personality or because she plans it out. So when people are going after her and then try to cancel Trisha, I was like, ugh, Jesus, right? I will respect someone, by the way, around the same age as Trisha, maybe even mine. That Hilton dude, I think his name is Perez Hilton or something like that. He recently came on a TikTok and said this.
So, why do I keep talking about James Charles, Charli D'Amelio, Addison Rae, Bryce Hall, etc.? Duh, because they're very popular right now. Isn't it painfully obvious I'm using them for clout? I'm trying to get attention based off of their popularity. I want views. I want money. I want relevancy.
You know, so there he admits it. He's like, yeah, I do this for clout. Like, no shame at all, right? And I gotta say, there are some creators, commentators that's what they do, right? They like to make drama. And you know what? You're a parent that you know your child is all over TikTok. I mean, at this point, right? The D'Amelio parents, they know that. They even participate in some of her TikToks, no matter how suggestive sometimes her dances are. But anyways, you know, hey, it kind of comes to the territory. The argument is not whether people should do it or not. It's gonna happen. It's unfortunate, but it's gonna happen. Right? Don't let your child put herself in those situations or himself in those situations where you feel like people are going to be nasty to them and you want to protect them from that. Right? That would be just my take. Right? And with that, let's jump into the next story. And that is about DJ Merr, the ha 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 comedian who's so funny. It's one of those things where I covered it before plenty of times. Right? I don't agree with the comedy that some creators, right, so-called proclaimed creators, try to say that they're doing, right, that they are trying to bring happiness to people by basically sometimes bringing misery upon others. Now, what do I mean by that? At the beginning, I showed you a little bit, but for, you know, let's roll the clip so you can get a bit more context.
What the hell? Excuse me.
Okay.
Hey, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué diablos, loca?
All right, and in that clip you saw there, you have DJ Merr, right? Who, you know, oh my God, did the whole so original clip of falling with milk to the ground. It's like, oh my God, I totally didn't know I was doing that, and it was totally an accident. But here she adds yet again more insult to injury by essentially having someone else walk over and also do the same original joke, right? It's very insulting, degrading, so infuriating to see that other people in the store who probably don't want to be there, that it's the job that they need to put their family through, you know, another day, have to clean up all that mess. She often is seen at Walmart, right? Wherever Walmart she goes to, or Walmarts, I don't know if it's many that she goes to do these jokes. everything from just sitting on random people's cards, including associates, or putting things away, to, you know, hitting other people, other patrons of the store with her cart. It's just like, oh, and acting like I don't know what's happening, just walking away. I've said this before, I don't know how many times, and I'm gonna continue saying it, because we shouldn't support these so-called creators, right? For those of you guys watching that are very immature and you think this is hilarious, I don't think it'll be hilarious when it happens to you, as you continue supporting this type of bullshit, comedy, humor, whatever. You know, there's going to be maybe a few of you that just to win an argument with me will be like, no, wrong, JT. I would totally laugh and it would be so funny. I don't think you would. Because who is to say that they're going to catch you on the day that you're going to think it's so funny? And they're going to be like, you got me. No, I think for many people right now, especially because of everything that's happening and will continue to happen, they might catch you in a day when someone broke up with you. They might catch you in a day where you lost your job. They might catch you in a day where you got reprimanded at work. Who knows what happened to you? You could just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And, you know, people like DJ Merr here just slams her cart against you, and you're supposed to take it. More importantly, you're supposed to let her put it online and for you to be made a fool of, right? Because she needs likes. She needs views. So sorry, whoever you are, you're going to get your cart slammed into or messed with at the store. You know, I need the views. That's what she'll say. Because if you tell me, JT, well, you know, there are things called press releases or whatever, right? Or video releases. I don't think she has a team that's doing all that. I am sorry. If you, again, are talking of teams or actual legitimate TV reality comedy specials like the Practical Jokers do all the time, where most of it is, you know, paid actors, and the other maybe half are people that immediately they run to, they're like, hey, please don't run away, don't sue us, do this video release or whatever, and we'll give you some money. You know, I don't think she's doing that for a 60-second clip on TikTok. It's just, I'm sorry, if she was maybe you know, a millionaire with millions of follows and backed up by a network, maybe. But chances are is that at most she says sorry, and when it comes to doing the milk freaking things everywhere, she probably runs out of the store. And even if they yell at her, don't come back out here, I wouldn't doubt if someone knows her there at the store, right? And it's just disgusting, right? Because you have people like her, you know, blowing up all over social media with very young, unfortunately, impressionable teens, right? That anything that they feel, you know, it's funny for a second, they can get a quick like giggle out of. They like, they share, they start following. Because do more of these, please. These, I was so sad yesterday, and these got me through the day. Not critically thinking about who is she doing these at whose cost, at whose expense is she doing these videos, right? And just so that someone randomly online that says, I was sad yesterday, DJ Merr, and you got me through the day. Can you please do the other milk carton again at a different Walmart? Or can you please, crash someone's cart? You know, it made my day. You know, how pathetic are you if you're one of those people? I'm sorry. If you tell me, JT, you're an asshole, people are dealing with depression. Yeah, go deal with it somewhere else. Are you telling me that you're getting joy out of seeing her make someone else's life miserable? Well, you're a shitty human being if that's what you think that's funny, right? If you think that that's like, you know, getting you through depression, there's something wrong with you if that's what you think, right? I understand when people that have depression and they need a good laugh, or they need something to get them out of that, but this is not it. It's not, right? And it's really shitty to see that there are people rising in popularity, out of doing stuff like this. It's one step closer, just one step, not the step, just one step closer to you finding it very funny if we start throwing kittens or doggies or puppies, over the cliff. And it's like, you saw what noise it was making? Oh, hold on. I'm gonna be like, well, really, dude? That's extreme. That's up. She's not hurting anybody that you know of. How many clips do you think she put on that she didn't upload, but she still made? How many? That you know of. Don't ever forget that. Again, critical thinking, my friends. And with that, let's move on to the last part of this, and that is prisoners and TikTok. Yeah. So according to Vice, there is that little clip that I put at the beginning where now you have prisoners joining in on the trends of TikTok, the dances and stuff like that. Of course, for some of those, we had to replace the audio, but you get the point. You will have some that will argue and say, JT, but you saw that yourself. You put it on that some poor dude in prison is drinking nasty, brownish, yellowish water. That's a good thing. We would have never seen it otherwise if they didn't have TikTok in prison. Which, let me remind you, for some of them, yes, there could always be the argument, not all. But I will argue that vast majority of them are in prison for a reason. And let me tell you that I've spoken to people that have been in prison here in the U.S. and in other countries. And I have been told, dude, being in prison in the U.S. is nothing like being in prison in other countries, right? When it comes to the conditions and when it comes to what can be done to you in prison. Yes, horrific shit can be done to you in the U.S. prison system, but it's always a notch up in other third world countries, right? Or even second world countries. So that's one thing. Second, even if we're only talking about prisoners here in the U.S., they are in prison, the vast majority, because they're not great people, right? Some, I'm sure, are in for petty theft. Some are in, I'm sure, because they're innocent. I am sure of that. But the vast majority of them are in because, and a lot of them say it, they're proud of it, because they've murdered people. They've raped people. They've done atrocious things. Can some of them be, rehabilitated? Yeah, I would hope that the most of them could, but some of them will not. And I think that the ones showing up on these cameras, right, or in these TikTok videos, they don't really give a shit, because they're like, what are you gonna do to me? What, you gonna put me in jail? What are you gonna do to me? What, give me more time? I'm already in here life. I'm already in here 20 years. That's pretty much life for some of them, right? So what can you threaten them with? The Vice article said, some of them are threatened with no visitation rights, or we're gonna put you in the hole. I've heard people that like to be in the hole. I've heard people that are like, who's going to visit me? I'm in another state. My only, few relatives can't travel this far. So they don't care. So it kind of backs up why they're showing their faces on literally these TikTok videos. Even if the warden or other guards will see the videos and it'll get to them. And then they'll be like, hey, you were in a video. We saw you. They're going to be like, yeah, so? You're going to go to jail. Done? Right? So what's the other thing, right? Because I'm going numbering these here for you if you don't notice. The third or fourth thing, whatever I'm on. You have prisoners who are already predators, right? That's probably why they're in there. Who do you think they're targeting? Yeah. Who do you think they're going to be interacting and commenting on? For some of you guys, I'll be like, not my kids. Not my tia, not my, my family, not my mom. Okay, good for you, I guess. But for those of you guys that you don't know if your kid does or doesn't have TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, you don't know. Or you're one of those very accepting parents and you're letting your kid be on all social media, even if they're 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Who do you think potentially these prisoners can be interacting with? Yeah, that's right. You just thought about your kid. You're like, oh shit. You don't know. Because I don't think I don't think all of them are using prisoner number, whatever their number is, for their at. Some of them are just using regular names, or some of them that they are predators because they are in jail. Some of them, they're going to be using things that they know work, right? Probably worked on the outside for them, like other girl names or just very trusting pictures. Yes, because they are handsome or cute if you're talking about female prisoners, people in prison, right? That they are handsome, they're good looking, right? And you can get away with a lot with a camera phone, right? It doesn't have to look like you're in prison, but you are. So when you tell me now, well, shit, dude, what do we do? How are these prisoners getting phones? In the Vice article, and because I did some other research, I saw that there's many ways. Of course, you have your classic contraband, right? Where relatives bring them in. People working at the prison, including guards, bring them in. There's even been allegedly, I don't know how many, 18,000 or something like that, crazy number of phones that have been contrabanded here in the United States in one single state, right? Where you have even drones dropping them in the yard, right? People throwing them over. listen, prisoners get very creative, as you saw in that video, right? They need to. They're in prison. They're with limited resources. So if they need to get something in prison, they're going to get it in, right? However they need to, they're going to pay someone to get it in. They're going to figure it out. And luckily, there is this, even though the FCC hasn't completely sanctioned it, there is this technology for jamming cell phone signal, which of course then puts the prison guards in jeopardy, because then, you know, they need to communicate, and if, you know, somehow this jammer jams their signal too, well, you know, they can be in a pretty nasty pickle. But they are going to be implementing that in prisons to jam some of the signal, right? To not give them, you know, Wi-Fi, which yes, so then it begs the question, like, how the hell they're paying their cell phone plan? Like, how does that even work? There's so many questions here, but the point is this. Now that you know, for those of you guys that didn't, be vigilant of who your child is interacting with on social media. You know, you can't really do a lot when it comes to your mom and your dad or your tia. They're adults, and, you know, maybe they're getting harassed, but hey, they're adults. But just like what I said about the D'Amelio family, the D'Amelio parents rather, you have to be aware that the internet is just like the world. It's just, you know, cyber, right? And it can be exposed to anything when they're on social media. You won't know, right? And again, if they come across any of these prisoners, if your daughter, your child is one of those kids that likes to jump on trends and show their half naked body on videos just for likes, then don't be surprised, right? If they come across one of these prisoners, they're like, ooh, I like it, I find you so attractive, and just, you know, curates them and really brainwashes them into whatever it is that they could ultimately want from people, right? That they're interacting with on social media. So with that said, I'll leave you with that. Thanks for watching as always. And yeah, really appreciate it. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching the JTH show. Remember, you can catch all the episodes, full episodes, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Radio Public. You can also visit www.thejthshow.com to catch episodes there, and to catch anything that we had to blur out because of YouTube or any other platform. We usually put all of our raw information in there that is uncensored. You can also become a member at www.thejthshow.com to catch all the special perks. Thanks for watching.